All right, guys, welcome to the podcast to break down the latest episode of Survivor 50, the one, the only, our second member from season 48 of Survivor, Eva Erickson. Give it up for Eva. Clap, clap, clap.
Woo! Yay!
Thank you so much for joining the show.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. I mean, hearing second sucks, but it's like second place, second to Kyle always.
I know, it's always, I'm sorry. we got to actually start going down the line.
Yeah.
Who got third in your season?
Joe. So I got his number.
Wait, that actually would be kind of smart. We're collecting the 48s like Infinity Stones.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for joining the show. We're excited to talk about the episode. We had Kyle on a couple weeks ago, and first of all, you guys are still best friends, I'm assuming.
Absolutely.
Even though he's been injured.
Yeah, I love the guy. He called me this morning, and he's on the mend. His leg is back, and he's running, and he's training for a marathon.
We love to hear it. He told us a funny story about how at his wedding you guys pretended to be like his laser tag team or something to explain why you were there.
Yeah, so going to Kyle's wedding, this was like only a couple weeks after we had just been on Survivor, so nobody knew who the cast of Survivor 48 was. And so he was like, you can tell anybody whatever just to like have an excuse for why you're here. So I had planned that I wanted to say something where everyone would have to then ask Kyle about it. So I was like, I'm going to tell everyone that Kyle plays on a laser tag team with me. And so the first person who came up to ask like, oh, like, how do you know Kyle and Maggie? I was like, had it all locked in. I was like, oh yeah, we play laser tag together in Ohio. And my boyfriend was not prepared for this and spit his drink all over this poor woman. And so the jig was up, and the rest of the night, then people word spread around that we were the Survivor people. So they were coming up to me and being like, so say you and Kyle were playing laser tag together with 18 other people. How do you think Kyle would do among them? And
what's the spot?
Yeah. Little did they know they were talking to number 2 about number 1. But
I know they were at a millionaire's wedding. They didn't.
Yeah,
know that.
Exactly.
I love it. Do you think, could you, at the wedding where you're like, Kyle, you couldn't have spent a little more money on this wedding?
It was beautiful. No, the wedding was absolutely amazing. It was one of the most fun weddings I've ever been to. And just picturing Star getting sturdy on the dance floor, remembering that is what gets me through hard times.
Good. I love it. That's really funny.
Yeah. So it's hilarious. I've still been trying to, now that Camilla is moving to New York this weekend and Kyle lives in New York, I am 3 hours away from New York. So I'm like, guys, we all got to lock in and go play laser tag together in New York.
You have to actually complete you willed it into the universe. Yeah.
Exactly.
So have you stayed close with people from your season?
Yeah, I'm Kyle is my best friend. We talk almost every day. We talked this morning. Camilla and I also call a ton. They didn't really show our relationship on our season, but we are very similar in that we're both very loud women in STEM. And so we're always screaming at each other. She's a Leafs fan though, which is a big issue in our friendship. Yeah.
That's tough.
And then of course, Joe is someone that will always have a special place in my heart after what we went through together during Survivor 48. So those 3 are my top 3 for my season. And of course, those 3 were the ones who went off and went on 50.
I know.
For a month.
Be honest, did you feel a little left out?
And I wasn't concerned about the fact I wasn't invited to go on 50. I was like, I gotta finish my PhD. I'm young. Yeah. They can invite me back at any time. They're older. But
they're way older. They're old.
Kyle's 32. Oh, he's an old man. But no, I was just lonely because I went from talking every day to these people to being you're on an island, bye. So that was tough. I was just where are my friends?
Yeah, that's the worst part. Yeah, you don't even want to be on the show.
Yeah, I was like, I'm good finishing my degree. I want to be invited back the next time around that they bring back returners, but I'm just happy to be a fan right now for season 50.
Love it. So did you have to catch back up on your PhD stuff? Did you take time off or they we don't actually care. You got to just do it at the same time.
Yeah, so I was done taking classes because I'm a candidate, and so it was just research. And I was really lucky. I was switching my funding, and so my advisor was super understanding. He's like, I'm not the one paying you. The government's paying you, so you do whatever. And so I got to go out and do this, but everyone else didn't really know where I was. My boss knew, my close friends and family, a couple of my teammates on the hockey team, but to everyone else, I just said that I was going on a submarine to do top secret Navy research because I'm funded by the Navy.
Well, that's actually, you're kind of good at coming up with these believable lies.
Yeah, the laser tag
scary.
is submarine. It's super cool.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of is. It explains your absence. Yeah.
Yeah, it worked out. And then I felt bad, though, because some people were like, oh, I can't wait to hear all about the work you did when you got back. And then I was like, actually, you're going to watch it on TV. And
legally, I can't.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it was funny because the one thing that my advisor requested, like my boss in my lab, he was like, all I ask is that you mention a vortex at some point on the show. And I was like, they're never going to show anything.
What way can I naturally mention that? Yeah.
But then, luckily, I got to the final 3, and that's when I finally revealed what I actually did for a living, because the whole time I'd played dumb and just said I was only a hockey ref. And then when I explained what I did for my research, I fully said, like, I study vortex-induced vibrations and elastically mounted bluff bodies. Just sounds like a bunch of jargon, but he was very proud of me that he got that little shout-out.
That's all that matters, ultimately.
Oh, yeah.
That was a great reveal. I mean, and thank God you got to the final that you could actually reveal it instead of just, like, getting your torch snuffed and being like, oh, by the way, guys, as you're walking.
Yeah, be like,
not as cool.
Don't worry, I'm actually not stupid.
They're like, we don't care, just go home.
Yeah.
What was the coolest part of, like, everything that happened after? Because you were, I think, are you the youngest person to make it that far to as a finalist, or maybe the youngest? You're pretty young.
Yeah, I was 23 when I was out there. I was the youngest on my season by far. The closest to me was Star, who was 27 or 28 at the time. But I think there have been younger finalists. But yeah, no, definitely the age gap was ridiculous. And everyone like looked at me like such a child, but also like it was funny because then now some of my best friends are like in their 30s, and I joke about that with people that I'm like, I went to Fiji one time and now I just hang out with 30-year-olds.
My life completely changed.
Yeah. Because I mean, especially with here at Brown being a PhD student, I'm older than most of my teammates. Like some of my best friends are like 18, 19-year-old boys. I'm like, that's weird. And then my other best friends are 32, 45-year-old men. Like, what is that?
You're a middle child. You really are.
Exactly.
But so what was like the coolest part about being on the show, and then like the hardest transition coming back?
I think the coolest thing was like the friendships. Like I went into the game being like, this is a sport. This is like I'm competing in hockey. Like didn't really think of the social side and how close you get to these people. And I really did build such deep, strong bonds and have some just hilarious memories that will never make TV, but I have in my head from the stuff that we did out there, which was so funny. And then, what was the other question? Sorry.
What was the hardest transition?
Oh, and then the hardest transition?
To reality.
Oh, God. Coming back, it was gaining the weight back.
Really?
I lost 25 pounds.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I had bulked up to go out there. Like, I was in the best shape of my life. I was big. I was benching 170, and I'm, like, small little girl. So I was, like,
that's
I was
good.
Just jacked. And then I came back, and I weighed less than I did in high school. Like, that was so tough for me, especially with hockey season right around the corner.
Oh, so you had to, like, get back in shape for hockey.
Yeah. That was, like, really, really tough on me. But obviously, I, like, worked my ass off to then be able to get back and be back to fighting weight, but that was tough.
Now we got the playoffs.
Yep.
We're pulling for you. All right, let's dive into the episode 3 from Survivor 50. You made history for being the first person to make Jeff cry during your season. Mm-hmm. And now we see Jeff rap for the first time in the episode.
Well, I wouldn't say that was the first time, because he did come up with that fried chicken and waffle song on my season that he had us all sing. That was
it. Wasn't a true snap rap the way he was.
Yeah, the snapping was. I don't know what he's going for. Like, I don't know if he's trying to like drop a mixtape one of these days. But
he might have a career, yeah.
Yeah, he's mixing it up. I mean, there was like last season he randomly spoke in a British accent a little bit. Like he is just out there trying things, and that's what he does. Yeah. He just like has fun with it.
I love it. I always like think as I'm watching this show, like how funny it is that he's just like narrating the challenges when he's like, it's like Eva falls, she's got to catch up a lot of ground. You're like, dude, shut the fuck up right now. Like,
yeah, exactly. No, but it's so funny sometimes when you hear the things he says. Like I remember on my season, Cedric, who is historically one of the most ridiculous Survivor players of all time, he's terribly bad at challenges. I love the man to death. He's an amazing human, but boy, was he out of fish out of water out there. But there was one thing where he was like bouncing a ball, and Jeff was like, Cedric is doing something that will never work. And I was like,
just throwing shit. Like,
I didn't even see what he was doing, but I heard that, and I was like, what does that mean.
So you can hear him when these things are going on.
Yeah, no, that's live. Like, that's not, like, dubbed in
Yeah.
later. Like, he is just, like, saying stuff, and you're like, I'm
so
trying
funny.
to focus here, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff, could you please be quiet for a second, especially if you're, like, hanging there, like, or, like, your toes are on the
Yeah, well, I had the
pole
opposite,
or
actually.
whatever.
When we were on the one that I won, where you were hugging the post, like,
Yes.
that one, I was like, I got this one in the bag because hockey legs, you know. But I was up there, and it had gotten down to just me and Mary. And Jeff was talking. He's like, is this distracting you guys? Do you need me to quiet down to focus? And Mary was like, yes, please. And I was like, oh, well, if you needed to focus, then I'm going to start talking. So I just started, like, chirping Kyle, who wasn't even
Remember that? Yeah, I was like...
I was like yelling at Kyle, who was down on the bench, being like, yeah, glad you're not up here because you'd piss your pants again. And he's like, what the hell? Like, I was just like being a menace. And Jeff had just shut up at that point, but it was just.
Well, actually, speaking of pissing your pants, we did have a moment, either this episode or last episode, where Christian shit his pants on camera.
Yeah.
I loved that. I think, and I love that he was like, my son has seen me do a heist. It's like, your son has also seen you shit your pants on TV.
I'm like, I can't believe they showed that on TV because they cut when Kyle peed his pants. And so, but the fact that they.
Oh, so Kyle did pee his pants. Okay, I was not aware of that.
No, he actually peed his pants. And he always.
This is breaking news on the Daily Friday podcast.
Yeah,
Kyle
pissed his pants on national television. And I always make sure to tell everybody that is my quest in life. And Camilla helps me with that. We are like Kyle's annoying sisters. And so any chance we get, we tell people about this thing that was never shown on TV, but he pissed his pants in that first challenge that he won. So maybe it worked out for him. But Christian just shitting himself at camp, like
unbelievable. Yeah, like does that happen normally? Like, I mean, did that happen in your season?
No. I mean, the closest to that. So, what's also weird about the Christian thing is they hadn't had any rewards yet. Like for us, when we started getting reward food, which I was lucky enough to be invited on every reward except for one. Once it got to where you like pick people, which was great. I got to eat, but also I have terrible self-control and would eat so much and then get super sick. And so
your body's not used to like actual food.
Oh yeah. My body was just destroyed, and so it would just go right through me. But like, I never shit myself.
Where do you shit in the show?
You go dig a hole out on the beach or in the woods or something. Yeah.
Love it. My other question with this is like, okay, how many changes of clothes do people have? Because it seems like people are generally wearing the same thing. And like, did Christian just get new pants, or does he have to wear those pants?
I think he just has to wear those pants because we had a couple different changes of clothes where you had like shorts that you could wear for a challenge that you had a second pair of shorts, a pair of long pants, you had two different shirts, one like outer layer, so I had like a sweatshirt that had a hockey player on it, one accent item, which was like randomly distributed, and for me, they chose my accent item to be a vest, which I've never worn a vest, but I was...
Yeah, okay, so I always wonder that when people are wearing like dress shirts, and I'm like, did you pick that? And I'm assuming the producers.
No, you send in a bunch of clothes, and then they pick and choose from those, and then they'll just randomly be like, oh, what about this thing? And I was just so excited to be on Survivor. I was like, I'll wear it.
Like, whatever you guys do you still have the clothes, or did you kind of got to get rid of those?
Oh, I still have them. I have the best in my closet.
Hang them on your walls with hockey jerseys.
Yeah, I definitely washed everything. That was for sure. That was much needed. But the vest kind of became iconic because that's where I had all these pockets in the vest, and I had a ton of advantages, and so I had them each in a different pocket. And I also had like a pocket where I would keep like snails because I was like, oh, I'll collect them and boil them, like just rugged outdoor shit.
Normal stuff. Yeah. Catching your snails. So Christian shit his pants in front of your boy Joe. Question for you. So last episode they had some people kind of like being critical of the way Joe was playing. How does that feel as someone that's friends with him and close to them to like see that happen live?
Yeah, it's really tough seeing the way that everyone was handling Joe this season compared to last season because I know exactly what Joe's thinking out there because I know him so well. And he was someone on my season that the audience didn't get to view it. But Joe was someone who would get kind of paranoid and anxious about votes and not knowing what was going on. And that's where our duo was so important was because, well, everybody, the viewers at home got to see how Joe supported me when I was overstimulated, dealing with the impacts of my autism. You didn't get to see me supporting Joe, where I was somebody that he trusted 150%. And so when he was starting to be having that on edge, like, oh, I don't know, like this game, whatever, being grumpy, like we're seeing in
You could
50
help him
here,
with that.
I was
Yeah.
there for that. And so we were able to really complement each other, which is why we were so successful as a duo. And so
Right.
seeing him alone without having someone he trusts was really hard for me. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I know what's going on in his brain. I totally get why everyone else is frustrated with him, but like because they don't
Yeah,
have
like
that
as a
relationship.
viewer, like I understand why that would be frustrating. I do like Joe, and Joe seems like a great
Yeah.
guy, but I'm like, I do get why that would be frustrating to play with someone like that.
Yeah, and like I was willing to take the time because I cared about him and he
Yeah.
cared about me, and I was like, I would take the
Right.
time to walk him through, and make sure he
You
was
need someone.
really
Yeah.
good. Yeah, yeah, and he just didn't have that on his first tribe. So with the swap, I think he has gotten into a much better position.
That's what's gonna be
because-
my next point. Is like
Yeah.
it seems like you found his people with the Warrior crew.
Oh yeah,
Just like they're gonna just go hard on
that's
that.
right up his alley. Like having
That was a good swap for him.
Colby. Yeah, the old school players who, especially getting put with old school players that are that like honor and integrity type of people, that is
Right.
like
That's
his
honestly was
wheelhouse.
the perfect thing for him.
Yeah, so that might have
general, when
saved him.
In general, like, so I'm assuming this is the first season that you've watched when you're friends with the people. So you're friends with Kyle, you're friends with Camilla, Joe. Are there any other people that you've become friends with? And like, how does it feel to like watch that happen on the show? Like, it's got to be a weird experience.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten to meet a lot of people from the Survivor community.
Okay.
But like the ones that I've like spent a good amount of time with that I would be like, oh, that's genuinely one of my friends. Like Genevieve is right up there. I
Okay.
recently went up to Winnipeg to go to a Jets game with her and Camilla. And I got a signed Connor Hellebuck jersey.
Oh,
Which, yeah,
the
that
perks
was-
of Survivordom. I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah. He's a big Survivor fan, as is his wife, which was very cool to meet
Great.
him there. And so Genevieve hosting us, getting to spend a whole weekend with her, she is an amazing person. And what's funny is I didn't like her in her first season. I did not think she was the kind of person I would be friends with, but in real life, she is the coolest. And so she's definitely someone that I'm rooting for out there. And so it was tough seeing in this episode Tiffany be like, I'm going after Genevieve.
I know. Like, I feel like it would like hurt my heart when people were also like talking shit about them, or like you see them crying on camera. Like, I think Genevieve was crying when Kyle left.
Yeah,
Maybe it was
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone
Yeah.
was. It's
Yeah.
so emotional and sad to see him leave. And yeah, that's just that was heartbreaking.
Is that hard for you to watch, even knowing what happened?
Yeah,
Or
I
you kind
mean,
of like, it's fine.
the knowing everything, like even in my season where it's like I lived through it and now I'm watching it back,
Yeah.
it still hits you emotionally to watch it
For
all
sure.
again. And so seeing those emotions in yourself and your friends, that's so tough. And I definitely felt for all of them in that moment.
But that's why we watch it. It's real people feeling real things. All right, so going through the rest of the episode, Joe seems to have found his people. I did feel bad. Chrissy was getting upset. People were saying she was annoying, which is kind of tough feedback to get.
Mm-hmm.
I felt bad for her, but one of my favorite parts when they went back to the new tribes was Sari and Riz kind of vibing, and she was like, I got this guy named Riz God. It's like, he's even got Sari calling him Riz God. Let's go.
Yeah, he's so
He's
funny.
the man. Yeah.
As he always says, the man, the myth, the legend.
Man, the legend. I'm like, hell
His
yeah,
God.
dude.
He's got
He's
his
so cra-
tagline, you know, like
He does.
it's just so ridiculous because he's only a year older than me, but I
Okay.
feel like he's way younger. Like I feel like,
I'm surprised that he's older than you.
yeah. I know.
No
I'm like,
shade
what?
to Riz. Big fan of the Riz, but
Yeah.
that was really funny. Yeah, I mean, that's got to be crazy, by the way, that they just went right back out there after they did the season. That's got to be weird mentally. And I mean, I feel bad Savannah got voted off, but I would also be like, okay, now I get to go home and like eat food again.
Yeah, and she already won the million. Like she's set.
Yeah,
it.
she's
no
fine.
worries.
She's fine. She'll be good. She'll be invited to future seasons.
Yeah.
I did also really like the moment in this episode when Riz was kind of having his fangirl moments, which I really liked. He was like, I got to ask, like, what's going on? And then he was asking Charlie about the Maria situation. I was like, okay, Riz just came out and asked her.
Yeah.
Like, and he was like, we don't talk. And then they had that incredible edit when Riz was talking about how he did vote against the person he was really close with.
Yeah, and
and,
Sylvia.
and Charlie's listening like.
And his eyes, he was like, whoa.
Yeah. I was like, that was an incredible edit.
I loved that. That was my favorite moment
Yeah.
of the episode because Charlie was actually the first Survivor player I met outside of my season. I reached out to him because he lives in Boston and that's really close to me in Providence. And the last season I saw before I went on Survivor was 46. And so I had just watched him lose and get second place.
His season was great. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it was phenomenal. And so
Yeah.
I reached out to him because having that experience of getting all the way to the end and losing is so, so hard. And
True.
so we have a pretty cool second place club right now. Like, all the people who got in second place are really cool humans. And so,
what is some of the perks of the second place club?
I mean, it's not really a club, but just like
It's
you
just
have
a group
Austin Lincoon. He's really cool. Charlie, Sophie B, really like her.
Nice.
Sam Fallon, he's awesome. I'm going down to Nashville to go to a Preds game with him shortly.
Nice.
Like, so a lot of really cool people, and so it was great to like meet him as the first one, and seeing him out there and the way that, yeah, that relationship with Maria, that's, to me, for Maria not voting for Charlie when they played together from the start, like that would be if Joe was not on the final three with me and he didn't vote for me.
100%. I was gonna say, like, that was gonna be my follow-up question, is like, I feel where he's coming from, because that felt kind of crazy at the time.
Yeah, that was the wildest thing. And it's almost saying, when you play the same game as someone, when you're an ally and you stick together through this whole thing, if you don't vote for them in the end, that's you saying, oh, my game wouldn't have been good enough to win.
Fair.
And so her doing that, it was just out of spite. And that was,
it was
so
100% out of spite.
Yeah.
And Charlie's on 50 and she's not. So.
Exactly. I love Charlie. And so him having those super valid, like, PTSD moments from Rizzo now saying that, like, oh, yeah, I didn't vote for my bestie out there. Like, that's a red flag, and rightfully so. I wouldn't want to work with someone who I wouldn't trust to stick with me through and through at all. So I think that was great analysis.
Like Charlie, I was like, wow, Charlie kind of got a little more cutthroat in the past couple years. He's like, I don't want that guy in the jury, and I think it's a legitimate point.
Yeah, I love that.
I loved the when we went to the next tribe with Emily, and she like immediately folds around about the Billie Eilish boomerang idol. By the way, how many times are they going to say the
take a shot every time they say
I was literally like
that, and take a shot every time Jeff says in the hands of the fans. I'm like, oh my God, we get it.
we get it. That was crazy. And it's also like, has Billie Eilish said anything about like so excited that this is happening? Like, no, they're just
the only way that I'll be like
20 times an episode.
Yeah, the only way I'll be like down and about like this whole Billie Eilish boomerang thing is like, if you successfully boomerang it, you should get to meet Billie Eilish. Like that.
I think that's so true.
Right? Yeah.
That's
like,
so, maybe that is coming, and that's why she hasn't said anything. I'm not, knock on wood.
Yeah.
I'm scared for the Mr. Beast idol or whatever is coming. I don't know what that's going to entail.
Oh God. Like, who knows what kind of celebrities are popping up in this thing and what kind of advantages.
I think I saw Jimmy Kimmel's one of them as well, which is also pretty funny.
It's so wild.
I couldn't have picked Jimmy Kimmel, Mr. Beast, and Billie Eilish. I couldn't have guessed that at all.
It sounds like a Mad Libs problem.
Literally. Okay, so Emily immediately folds and tells the information about Aubrey's Billie Eilish boomerang idol. Mm-hmm. Christian's reaction to that was hilarious when she told him. That was very funny. Do you feel like in that moment, if you were Christian, like, would you forgive? You kind of have to forgive her, right? Like,
you just are like, what are you doing? Like, what was the point? Like, that's where I was so confused by what Emily was trying to accomplish here. She was just like, oh, well, I'm just going to dump all this out to everybody. Like, why don't we just all know everything? And like, that's the kind of play in Survivor that just drives me insane, is I'm like, secrets should stay secret. Like, don't.
I know.
Like, if I was in an alliance with her and all of a sudden she's like, oh yeah, I spewed this to somebody else that's in our alliance, that would auto make me be like, well, I don't think I trust you and want to go far with you anymore. But Christian is willing to bridge the gap.
Yeah, and I think it's just kind of the way Emily is a little bit, where you're kind of like, if it was anyone else, you'd be like, what are you doing? And Emily just kind of is like to the point with everything and like very direct. So it's like you kind of forgive it. Have you met Emily at all?
I think I briefly met her, but didn't really get to talk to her. I saw her at like one of the watch parties.
I liked Emily. She's kind of, when that happened, I was like, well, I remember I liked her in her season, and this time I was like, what is she doing? Then the rest of the episode, she kind of clawed her way back for me a little bit.
Yeah. As she was clawing her way back, Q was digging himself a hole.
I know. We can transition to that at the end. I do want to quickly talk about the challenge when Colby gets concussed, and Jeff's like, that's Survivor. It's going to happen. You're like, Jeff, bro.
Well, we had the same thing in our blindfold challenge on my season. So that was the only challenge I sat out. Because I was like, they don't need my physical strength on this one. This is going to be fun to watch. And so since we had 2 extra people, Bianca and I got to sit out on the bench, and boy, was that a show. Watching these people just run into stuff. Like, David, I hadn't even met him at this point. He, like, nailed his head and then stood up, walked a few steps, and then nailed himself in the nuts, too. And I was like, this poor man.
David, like, the biggest man to ever exist.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the moment when he just stood up at the drive.
Yeah, oh my God. That was wild. I can't get over that. But
that was one of the funniest things. Yeah, okay, so are you kind of going back to Kyle's injury, are you surprised more people don't get hurt at these challenges?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that they're so short, and like, to me, I was expecting the challenges to be harder, like the team challenges, right? Being an athlete, we play a 60-minute game for hockey, right? Now, when I'd show up to a challenge, maybe 10 minutes to get through the thing, and the last, like, 5 of it is like, oh, we're standing at this puzzle and watching one person do it. And so that wasn't as, like, intense, but the thing you have to keep in mind is that Survivor has people from all walks of life and abilities. And so we have a lot of really unathletic people who are out there doing this. It's crazy that Kyle, one of the most athletic people on the cast, was the one who got hurt when there's other people like Sari who can't even throw anything. Like,
right. Not Ozzy, Coach, who almost had to be escorted home with a calf cramp.
Yeah.
That was pretty tough. I was like,
that
Coach,
was so weird.
You're 55 years old, dude. Like, you
just like laying out in the water.
Yeah,
what is that?
Just like hobbling back. I love Coach though. Coach is the man, the Dragon Slayer.
Yeah.
Okay, so back at camp, Q's team has lost. Q has begun digging himself a hole. Essentially tells Mike White to vote for him, which he was gonna do anyways.
Yeah, the cutest
I like Q.
is to tell people to vote for him. It's so funny. I love watching him, but he did that twice on his last season. He was just guys, vote me out. Like, what?
Like, he's a martyr. He's such a martyr. It's like, you hate me. It's like, no, it's just like
yeah, it's like that, like, annoying where it's like, oh, fine, just break up with me then. Oh, like
exactly. If you hate me so much, it's like, okay, fine, we'll vote you out. We were gonna do it anyways.
It's so wild, and I love him he as a narrator is so funny because everything he says is just delivered with the funniest cadence. And he was like,
his confessionals are the best.
Yeah, him and Mike White are 2 of just the best narrators on the show, and any time that they're speaking, I'm like, yes.
Upset that you aren't on the season because now you can't be in White Lotus with Mike White. That's the biggest downside of not being.
Yeah, I know, that'd be tough. I wish I could get a cameo out there. Oh my God.
I love that they showed Angelina's scene. I actually didn't realize it was her in that season.
Oh, really? I mean, I think he's had several of them. Like, I'm pretty sure
I think he has
a cameo too. Because I've watched White Lotus. I only watched White Lotus because he's on.
To see the cameos? That's
like, I was like, oh, he's a Survivor guy. I should watch his show. Really, and then I was like, what is this? Great, love it. But not a feel-good show, that's for sure.
No, not a feel-good show at all. So at the Tribal Council, we were kind of going around. Speaking of Mike White, I loved Christian cutting him off like mid-metaphor and them all being like, yeah, you go ahead and cut off Mike White as he's like spinning, the greatest storyteller ever is spinning this tale, and you just have something else to say. I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah,
it's so funny, like, seeing these people interact with each other again, that you're like, oh yeah, you were like they were on TV together so long ago, and now it's like, wow, you're back, and like the dynamic, how it's
right, because they were on a season.
It's so fun. That's great that the 3 of them ended up on a tribe together, which with having everyone start on different tribes, like there was 3 people from my season, like they're not guaranteed to interact with each other, so it's awesome that now we have this chance where it's like, oh, people from the same season, they're linked in again.
So I'm gonna ask you before we get to, like, what does that feel like to be at camp when you know you could be on the block? Like, how paranoid?
I wouldn't know. Hasn't been me. I was never at risk. Not a single time. There was not.
Right. I guess that was part of your whole. Yeah, that's.
I had such good like alliances. I really insulated myself, so there was not a single vote where I was like, "Oh, I might go home." Every single time, I knew exactly what was going to happen and like had it in the bag. So I was, I don't know what that fear is like.
You still have like been like talking about who you're going to eliminate, though.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of discussion, and like the hard thing is trying to like when people know that they are going home, or like that it's hard trying to have that like awkward like, oh yeah, everything's fine, and now I'm just gonna go write your name down
with them.
Yeah, that is
You're
tough.
about to be done.
Especially when like I felt very bad at like some of the later ones, like someone like Mitch that just all day it was just kind of like, I love Mitch, and each of us kind of had our like, we're sorry Mitch, like we're gonna vote you out and there's nothing you can do about it.
Bad.
Yeah.
But like, it would also suck to get voted out and people are like, I'm so sorry, and it's like, just shut up. Don't say you love me. You just voted me
Oh
out.
yeah, no, that was as a fan, one of my biggest pet peeves was watching people be like, oh, like I love you, as they voted someone out, and I'm like, no, you don't. You just met them and you just voted them out of the game.
But being in it, you do feel like it. You're like, I'm sorry, like I do love you. We spent 2 weeks together out here. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, so Q gets voted out. RIP to Q. Mm-hmm. And we move on to the next episode. Any closing thoughts from the episode? I thought it was a great episode.
Yeah, it was great. I'm trying to think of anything else. The last thing that stuck out to me from that episode was how, I guess, we were talking about how close that Colby was to a concussion. Well, what about those freaking rings that were going to fall on Rizzo? And
I think Charlie threw it and it hit Rizzo. It was like he's getting back at him for Maria comment or whatever.
Yeah, but like hearing Charlie be like, cover your head, I wouldn't even have thought of that. I was like, this is actually dangerous. And so they need to get some of those blindfolded projectiles out of the show, because I don't want to see another medevac this season. We already had Kyle out for that. I don't want to see someone's brain split open.
100%. And Coach needs to have a banana or something. So no cramps. Get this man off the island in one piece. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Is there anything you want to plug at the end of it, or we're going to follow your playoff team?
Yeah, I mean, just happy to be here. Keep watching Survivor 50, and I'll be excited to be back next time.
And when your PhD paper comes out, we're all going to read it, and we're going to know exactly what's going on.
It'll be riveting, for sure.
Got it. Thanks. Appreciate it.